It's Kid. Jarilo. Talk to the beat. They get time to play. Time to work. Work will I play my picky and major for talk. They get time to play. Time to work. Work will I play my picky and major for talk. Oh baby, work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. Work hard, oh baby. Work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. When I'm putting the tourists, wake up. More cars and clothes, wake up. You want all the facility, wake up. Energy, doing my picky, you wake up. When I'm putting the tourists, wake up. You want cars and clothes, wake up. You want all the facility, wake up. Energy, doing my picky, you wake up. Too late. Hope you feeling good tonight. Oh lady, when the US to Liberia, the big kitchen make you wet. For I bet to my nose, yeah. Let's get us got out of place, yo. Oh baby, work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. Work hard, and I just stand. The fire will fall. If we work to build this nation, all how we fall. So, well. Sweat to increase your success, yeah. Well. How and can we progress, yeah. Oh, baby, work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. Work hard, oh, baby. Work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. When I'm putting in the drawers, wake up. More cars and clothes, wake up. You want all the facility, wake up. Energy, doing my picky, you wake up. When I'm putting in the drawers, wake up. More cars and clothes, wake up. You want all the facility, wake up. Energy, doing my picky, you wake up.
Black the things my eyes confess. Every day I give you praise. We only got one life to live. Brother, think and calculate. One life is all we need. I need a friend indeed. One life to my enemies. Love put them to shame. Don't have time for play. Not time to walk. How I can play. Let's get to work. Keep on working. Don't mind anybody. Keep the fire burning. Cause your time is coming. See me now, let them know. You are just see your goal. One day you will make it for sure. How far but you still got to go. Believe me, someone that will come to confuse you. Stay where you are, just do it. My life is a lesson. I want to know how to live it.
Oh baby, work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. Work hard, oh baby. Work, my daddy, oh. Work hard, my baby. Work, my picky, oh. I got time to play. Time to work. Work will I play my picky and major for talk. I got time to play. Time to work. Work will I play my picky and major for talk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today, we rise on June the 9th, 2021. And I hope the nation of France is at peace today. I hope that President Macron is recovering from that bad right slap he got yesterday. That came out of nowhere, man. Wow. Oh, shit. They had to run my car under that. But this is what happened when you trust people. When you think everybody loves you. When you come into the crowd and try to mingle and feel the tingle. He ended up with a right hand slap. Wow! But those security guys were fast. They pulled him out of there. And I just hope everything is back to normal. I hope France is functioning as usual this morning. Okay? Now let me put up my topics and let's see what we got to do with my little situation where we're staying. We see in our country today, we can't trust our leaders. We can't trust what people say to us because they're always flip-flopping. They've been flip-flopping since 1980 to this day. People like Sam Jackson and all these people. So we got to talk about it. We got to clarify this matter. And my topics today are: 1, recycling of the old deceitful rogues. 2, stealing in Liberia. 3, can Liberians be redeemed? Let's start with my topic 1. Recycling of the old deceitful criminals. Sam Jackson been around since 1980. Sam Jackson been around since Barker's Matthew time. They didn't succeed them. This is the same Sam Jackson now, from Andy Johnson time to this regime. And we see now how they flip-flop, how they lie, how they are deceitful, and how they just betray Liberia and Liberian people. We see it time and time again, but we act like we don't see it. We all saw Sam Jackson condemning George Weah time and time again. He didn't know that he was cousin to George Weah then. He didn't know they had family ties then. But these are the same people from 1980 that betrayed Talbot. These are the same people through our whole existence. From interim government to interim government. These are the same people under Eric Johnson Sirleaf. These are the same people under George Weah. Then we look at them, we call them honorable people. We call them people with respect. We call them people with trust. But you see, we've been through this over and over, but our people don't learn. Our people do not learn. Our people feel when we're on one course, we can't change. To change is taboo. To change, we fail. So we accept this process of stagnation, of growth without progress. Time and time again. Why? Because this whole process is based on stealing, on deceitfulness, on lies, and on keeping Liberian people down. You think we'll ever rise to be like America? We'll never rise to be like America. Why? Because the mentality of Liberian people do not meet the standards of people who are competent and capable of rising below the standards of third world nations. We're not. And what separates us from the greater nations of the world is stealing. Stealing, selfishness, extreme greed, wickedness. That's all that separates us from the America, from the European nations. They just like us. Look at Europe. You got every country. They're not like the United States of America. Every country is a different nation. So why would those nations prosper and grow as individual nations? And people like us in Africa can't do that. Everything got to be stealing. Everything got to be corruption. Everything got to be recycling of the same rogues and criminals. Why? Why? And let me tell you, I'm not joining nobody. I will sit here and talk by myself. If I don't have nobody to listen to me, I will talk myself so my record can be set for posterity. So they can know all Liberian people were not dummies. So they can know that all Liberian people did not follow the same course all their lives that kept us down. They will know that there was a Liberian man who talked and told us that we're third world nations because we're useless, because we're lazy, because we have no dreams and desire. Because all we want to do is drink, sleep, and bang. And we can't progress and advance like that. We always take one step forward and 3 steps backwards. Because there is no growth. There's no advancement. There is total stagnation in our leadership, in our lives, in our governance. And we sit and wonder why our country is like this, why our country can't grow, why we still have rogues among us always. If they're not in government, they're in government agencies, they're in government businesses, they're in government corporations. Everything is stealing. Stealing. And we can't continue on this trend. We can't continue. I will do my video. I ain't gotta work for Liberia. I ain't gotta work for the Liberian people. But I will educate my people for the future. And let them know there was a man here who said enough is enough, but nobody listened. And he never served in any government. He was never a part of this stealing ring that's going on in Liberian society today. From 1980 to this very day, this stealing ring that's going on, it never ended. It never ended. And no matter how you try to forget about the 13 fathers they killed in 1980, you can't forget about them. You can't forget about them because there is nothing useful today to compare Liberia today with, except in 1980, the government in 1980. So we haven't progressed. We still haven't reached to the standards that we were in 1980. We have not reached to that standard because we got nothing but rogues. We got nothing but murderers. We got nothing but juju practitioners running our government under the disguise of being Christians. And we're not growing. No matter how we fight, no matter how we talk, no matter where people come from the diaspora, because the people from the diaspora are just as bad as the people in Liberia. So when you have the blind man leading the blind, there is no hope of salvation for us. There's no hope for salvation. Look at all our community associations in America. None of them are thriving. None of them are growing and doing things out of the ordinary. None of them. So here we are time and time again doing the same thing, preaching the same song, singing the same song, talking the same things. And we cannot progress and advance like this. And Rodney Chesson can't get involved with this kind of living. No, I can't. I can't. I work too hard for my life. I can't. I can't. Because this kind of living does not befit me. You know, this is third world living. I'm above third world living. I'm beyond third world living. I've worked in this great United States of America. I cannot bring myself down to the petty criminal and stealing and lying and deceitfulness of the Liberian system. I cannot. It's hard for me. I will end up going to jail because I just kick people in the gonads. Left, right, left, right, left. Just come down the hallway, swinging like a damn, swinging the George Weah. Pop, 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 pop. Being in this area. But I can't. I can't take the lying. I can't take the stealing. I can't take the deceitfulness. As I work to honestly help my country and my people, while other people stealing what we do, I can't do it. It's hard. I can't join the rogues to rob my country, or I cannot work in earnesty while the rogues are just stealing with impunity. With impunity. This is craziness. Cyril Allen, Benani Uri, all these old rules, we just recycling them. Huh? How will we survive? Sam Jackson, look at the other old man. You know, interjecting himself in politics still. When he's from 1980 to this day, these people have not changed the destiny of our country. They have not changed the direction of our children. And these are the same people coming up in politics, talking about the endorsing. Who is Sam Jackson to endorse somebody? Who is Sam Jackson? And it's just coming out even more and more now that all these people are just greedy, deceitful, grave seekers. And you can't help them. We only got to step back and take our country back from these people. All these people got to go to jail. For Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Ellen Johnson Chirrut, her sister, her brother-in-law, her government officials, George Weah them. We got to put all these people in jail. Our government cannot function. Our system of democracy will not function as long as these people are running our country. Our society is not ready for democracy. We're ready for disciplinary training, civil training, being honest and trustworthy and sincere training. Or else nobody can serve in our government. We just have a bunch of rogues. How long will go on with this thing here? How long? Every administration come, every leader come, they just steal. Steal, why? And most of them are the same old rogues. Why we can't find nobody else in our country? 5 million people and no competent people to lead our country? Only rogues? Only rogues can lead our country? We have no leaders to punish these people, to set strong examples of leadership and direction, to set deterrence from the criminals and criminal elements within our society. Why we gotta go on like this? Why we gotta go on like this? I'm tired of being a third world nation, man. I'm tired of being a nation of rogues and thieves and just useless people. I'm tired of being a nation, a third world person of deceitful liars and just fun makers, just jokers. I'm just tired. Are we going to be men? Are we going to stand up? Is there a new generation of Liberians that have the competence, the honesty, the sincerity, the truthfulness to stand up against these wicked criminals and rogues of the George Weah and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf regimes? Why we got to go back into 1980 Why we got to regress time and time again? Why we can't move forward? Why we can't have good judges? Why we can't have good lawmakers? Why we can't have good precedent? Why we cannot have a good system of governance where we check on each other and make sure that the stealing stop? That our people learn that if it's not for you, you can't take it. This is not the native village where we just take things and don't account for it. When we put this thing together. But this is why we live time and time again. This is how we behave time and time again. And it is evident. It is evident from time immemorial that our society is a society of rogues, of thieves, of people who just take things because they think they can take it. We're all impunity. We're all law and order. Why do you think all this the debacle of a leadership that's going on in our country? Why do you think so? Because our leaders have no respect for our properties. They have no dignity for the properties of Liberia. They have no dignity for the people. No pride for Liberia. So they can just steal, knowing that they will not go to jail. Because when they steal, at that time, when your come down, you steal. Is this how we're going to run our country? Is this the kind of leadership we want in our country? People who are just criminals, all criminals. That's why we got to rid our society of people like Sam Jackson or all these people. We got to put them in jail. The Sierra Island, all these people, they got to go to jail. We got to pull them off their high horses and put them in jail. Set precedents and examples for our children to follow. That stealing from government and robbing from the Liberian people will get you in jail. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. And it is evident that people that Sam Jackson them mean no good for us. Mean no good for us. Listen to an interview on Spoon TV. I didn't even hear the whole thing. I just listened to what Julius Lofa played on his show. But that was enough. That was enough to tell us who these people are. To tell us that these people need to be checked and balanced. They're crooked. They're leading one side. We need to straighten them up and balance them. And in my view, only fucking can do that. So, these are some of the things that hurt us young people of Liberia. The young children who rather understand the issues of Liberia, the problem of Liberia, and why we can excel. The young people that understand it know that this is a terrible problem that keeps our country down, that keeps our country from growing, that keep our country from having patriotic and loyal men and women. We'll take a break. Liberia is our only home. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. The only home we know. Let's fight to bring it back. Take it from the rogues. Take it from the thieves. Let us punish them. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. All you patriots rise. The time has come to end the massive stealing of our wealth. Rise, oh patriots. Rise, my patriots. Time to get our nation back. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home, the only home we have. Rise up, patriots. Rise up, loyalists. Commander Chesson is calling the order of the day. So, touching on my second topic, stealing in Liberia. It has to stop. It must cease and desist. We cannot do it through our legislature. We cannot do it through our courts. We cannot do it through our executive. Why? Our system is broken down. The entire Republic of Liberia is broken down and needs to be overhauled. It needs to be restructured. It needs to be revived by patriots. The way our country is set, the way our leaders are leading Liberia, the way we see our children's future are dim and dark and muddled up. If we don't change our country, if we don't rise as patriots of our country, if we don't tell the rogues and the murderers, no, 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 it must cease and desist now, our country will die. Our children will keep being killed. The brains of our nation will never come to maturity. Because the people in the diaspora can only help us so far if they do not know how to lead the Liberian people. There will always be discombobulation and confusion in Liberian society because Liberians do not know how to lead Liberian people. The first thing is the family structure is destroyed. You can't trust people in your family. They are all liars and thieves and schemers. What? For property. For wealth that they don't deserve. They never work for. For wealth that belongs to family and not to individuals. So how can we rectify these problems when the very problem emanates from our leaders? Emanate from the people who are supposed to lay the foundation and set the examples and principles for our people to follow and be guided by. Come from the very people who are enlightened, imbued with the blessings of God to have education. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. These are the criminals in our society that have brought our nation down to what it is. The people we trust, the people with immense education and knowledge that's supposed to take us out of this mess are the same people coming and putting their children over our government, and they know they can't do that. They know we're not help our government, putting all their relatives in our government, depleting our and our wealth and telling us they're responsible for it, and they're not putting it back. They're not paying it back. Who are these people that are creating a culture of continual impunity in my country? Violating our constitution time and time again with impunity. And the very Liberian people who are supposed to be standing up against these criminals and evil, deceitful rogues are the very people praising these people. Why? Because our nation is a nation of blind young children. It's a nation of criminals in the making. It's a nation of liars and fools and bamboozled people of the future. And unless we rectify our society, overhaul our government, set examples of our criminals, Liberia will not change. And I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to put Simon McGill down. I'm ready to put Jefferson Koji down. I'm ready to put George Weah down and flog these people endlessly that they start singing the Hallelujah chorus. Because we cannot tolerate the kind of evil rogues among us who steal from us and watch our people suffer and die time and time again, and they put their relatives and friends in power over our country. Why? Why it gotta be like that? Because we are lazy people. We are scared people. We are people who don't believe in nothing that is worthwhile. Or else we'll not let these people continue with it. Unless we're not let George Weah then do this useless recklessness they do in our country. But when our people are deceived and blind, kept blind, stepped upon, run amok, we don't know who we are. We lost a sense of leadership of our country and ourselves, and we can't get it back. We can't get it back because the more ignorant people we put in our government, the more useless and incapable people we put in our government, the more people like themselves they will hire. And our country will just go down and down and down. Look at Costa. We're talking about the Liberian lottery. How all these people just running that system amok, doing what they want to do, taking our money and stealing it. Talking about $130,000 to buy rice for the community. Is the lottery making that much money they can do that? And what gives the right to the lottery to buy food to go distribute? That's not part of the lottery job. That's not part of the lottery job. You won't serve the community? Set up games that people can win easily. They can win double or more. But why you want to put yourself in rice, distributing rice and things like that? Setting up $136,000 to buy rice to help the community for what? Is that only rice our people eat? Is that the only staple food we'll continue to eat? There are other staple foods all through Africa. Everybody doing, yes, rice is our standard food, but people have different other means of eating. You got yam, you got cassava, you got gravy, you got these things we can make to make the same meal like other nations. So why we gotta confine ourselves to rice? Why people gotta take our money to say they're going to do things for the community where it is not their responsibility? You know, the stealing is just too much, man. The stealing is just too much. We need a real corruption bureau that will check and crack down on all these things. Put all these people in jail. Set our standards strong and better so everybody can enjoy our country. So everybody can benefit from Liberia. So everybody can feel patriotic to our country. Because they're sharing in the wealth of our country. They're sharing in the wealth of our leaderships. You know, but we can't do this time and time again. We can't see these people stealing time and time again and we keep quiet. We don't put them in jail. We don't punish them. We leave them and say, oh, forget it, and then that's not when we do it on Togo. No, it can't go on like that. People got to be held accountable for the stealing, for the lying, for the deceitfulness, for the treacherous behavior. People got to pay it. And as soon as we begin to realize this and understand that the whole is greater than the part, that when you're there to serve Liberia, not your family, not your cousins, not your relatives. You're there to serve Liberia. And where you fail, you must be punished. Because we have little resources. We don't have resources to waste. And that's why our country is poor, because there's too much waste. There's too much stealing. There's too much corruption. And it got to cease and desist for our country to survive, to grow, to get out of this state of stagnicity and rise to greater nationhood, peoplehood, direction. So it all boils down on us. It boils down on the Liberian people and society. Are we going to tolerate the stealing? Are we going to tolerate the deceitfulness? Are we going to tolerate the rogues? If we tolerate it, then our country will not grow. If we tolerate it, then we're going to have a stagnant economy, a stagnant society, a stagnant people, and we can't grow. So here we are at the fork of the road again. We must come to the realization that we have choices. We are now with our choices. We have choices. But the problem is, do we want to follow the good choices? Do we want to follow the choices that will lead to unification, integration, solidarity? Do we want to follow those? Or do we want to follow the deceitful trend time and again of the few deceiving the masses? We got to ask ourselves that, because that is a challenge we face with. That is the thing that we must change to make our society better, wholesome, functioning, united. And it behooves us to take that initiative ourselves, because the time of the Liberian people is now. Let me get into my third lesson. Can Liberia be redeemed? I've already answered that question. I already listed the problems of our nation and why we need to change, and some steps that we need to take to change, to overhaul our country, to set standards of discipline from the get-go, so our people can know we live in a system of law and order. We live in a system of transparency and accountability, responsibility. And people got to stand up for what our country stands for. Yes, our people can be redeemed, but our people must know that as we redeem ourselves and our nation, we should place ourselves on a higher pedestal to rise to greater nationhood, to greater people. And we have to listen to those vibes, those teachings, those interests and well-beings that set the standard for us. Because our country is precious to us. Our country is something that is the essence of who we are. Our country is the blessed gift from the divine. And if we don't take good responsibilities of those things that are given to us, we'll lose them, and probably lose them for good. I don't have much to say today. My class is done. I just want to bring the realization of the fact that, one, the more old roads we circle, it doesn't change our country. It doesn't add to our progress and advancement. It doesn't add to a better future for our people, our children. We got to move from these old roads. We got to get rid of these deceitful people. We got to put leaders in our country that stand for something, that stand for principles, that stand for law and order, that stand for justice, that stand for reconciliation, that stand for redeeming our people. But the more we prowl upon this trend of recircling leaders, bringing the old people back and putting them in power again, and catering the people with obsolete ideas, with obsolete principles, and not knowing that we are imbued with our own powers to sit at the table and discuss our issues and resolve them ourselves. Why are we following these old corrupt people? Why are we relinquishing the destiny of our people and country to a handful of people? We can't do it time and time again. It got to it got to stop, cease, and desist. Our people got to realize that our nation is not a big elephant. Our nation is a precious, precious gift. And we can't lose it. We can't play with it. We got to grow it. We got to improve it. We got to make it better. We got to have leaders we can trust, leaders who are trustworthy, leaders who are honest, leaders who will say what they will do and mean what they say. And until we get that, our country will remain a mess. Will remain a nation of warlords and war killers. Will remain a nation not destined to achieve anything worthwhile. The time of the Liberian people is now. I am only being used as a vessel to spread this message. But Aluta, continua. The time of the Liberian people is now. My class is done.
Liberia is our only home. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. The only home we know. Let's fight to bring it back. Take it from the rogues. Take it from the thieves. Let us